Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise! This is 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗴𝗡 Day, the largest and the biggest Bitcoin Pizza Day in Malaysia.
So Bitcoin Pizza Day has been amazing. We met a lot of community leaders.
I feel freaking fantastic.
Thank you, 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗶 for hosting this event.
This Pizza Day event was very fun. I'm full with pizza.
Thank you so much, 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗃𝗍 Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Very excited to meet everyone, and one of the best how we can celebrate together.
We have so much fun in 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗃𝗍
Awesome event. Thanks everyone. Pizza Day.
Awesome event. Thanks
So
everyone.
many people in the industry and have so much fun.
We would like to thank 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗃𝗍 for organizing this. 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗃𝗍 is the best. APU 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗃𝗍𝗃. Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. This is 𝗕𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗴𝗏𝗡, the largest and the biggest Bitcoin Pizza Day in Malaysia.
So Bitcoin Pizza Day has been amazing. We met a lot of community leaders.
I feel freaking fantastic.
Thank you, 𝗕𝗶𝘀𝗵𝗲 for hosting this event. This Pizza Day event was very fun. I'm full with pizza.
Thank you so much, 𝗕𝗶𝘶𝗵𝗲 Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Very excited to meet everyone. And one of the best how we can celebrate together.
We have so much fun in 𝗕𝗶𝘶𝗵𝗲's
Awesome
Pizza Day
event.
today.
Thanks
And
everyone.
today is
Happy
very
Pizza
awesome that I got to see.
Day.
In real
Awesome
life.
event. Thanks
So
everyone.
many people in the industry and had so much fun.
We would like to thank 𝗕𝗶𝘶𝗵𝗲 for organizing this. 𝗕𝗶𝘶𝗵𝗲 is the best.
APU 𝗵𝗂 Let's go.
Gentlemen, good afternoon to everyone that are here with us today and those of you that are watching online. Welcome to APU Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Club's flagship event. The future is Web3. If you are excited to be here, make some noise! That's the way to go. I'm Vidishtra,
I'm Cindy.
and we will be your MCs for today. It's a pleasure for us to stand here on the stage and be your MCs for today. We will ensure that this will be an unforgettable event and that you will go home without any regrets. This event would not have been possible without the support of Asia Pacific University and also our industry sponsors who are Access Blockchain Association Malaysia, 𝗕𝗶𝘶𝗵𝗲, Land.org, and DS Legends.
We are proud to announce that today from Asia Pacific University, we have Mr. 𝗕𝗶𝘀𝗵𝗏, the Chief Operation Officer, Dr. Hari, the Vice Chancellor, and Professor Dr. Murali, the Deputy Vice Chancellor.
And not forgetting our beloved club advisors who are constantly guiding us throughout us running the club, Mr. Suresh Naidu and Ms. Mira Isoran, who is not here with us today currently.
Last but not least, our prevailing supporting partners, Mr. 𝗕𝗶𝘀𝗀, the Advisor of Access Malaysia, Mr. Aravind, the co-founder and CEO of 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗴, and Mr. Navonu, the CEO of Landmark. Your presence here today has graced our event. It makes our blood, sweat, and tears much more worth it.
Moving on, although we are in the endemic phase, let's all practice of safety, shall we? So please be sure to wear your mask at all times when you're within campus building. Okay, the slides are back up, right? And also maintain social distancing in areas where masks are not mandatory. So we also want the event to run smoothly, and we'd like to kindly request everyone to put your phones in silent mode and refrain from causing any distractions to the event, which also includes eating, drinking, or snacking in the hall. Now, let's have a closer look at the event itinerary.
All right, our talk will be divided into 2 sessions, first starting from 1 p.m. till 1:40 p.m. Following that, there will be a short break within, which is last 10 minutes. And then the second part of the event will start at 1:50 p.m. sharp and ends at 2:30 p.m. Also, do not miss out the chance to clear your doubts and questions during the Q&A session that will last for 15 minutes after the talk ends.
So, audiences, take some time to look at your entrance passes. You should see a number. That number will determine your luck when we do our lucky draw later. Because that number will determine your chance to win our awesome lucky draws, which is worth up to 2,000 Malaysian ringgit. So please safely keep your lucky draw numbers like how you would store your crypto. And also, do stay with us until the end of the photo session, as there is some interesting news waiting for you. Hey Cindy, I think the audience are probably curious on why we decided to talk about this particular topic. Would you like to enlighten them?
Of course, as Web3 has been all the hype recently, but beyond that, Web3 has one obvious advantage to how it is decentralized since it uses blockchain technology. It eventually gives back the power to the end users to control their data rather than tech giants.
Control over our data. That will be revolutionary. And since we are still in the early stages of Web3, we would need a subject matter expert who can walk us through this new concept of a decentralized internet. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we now present to you someone who is an expert in the concept of Web3. He got into the cryptocurrency world in 2017 and has established Bitcoin Malaysia since. It currently has 128,000 members. He has delivered more than 300 talks in the last 3 years. A very interesting and wise person indeed. You can rest assured that the knowledge you gain after this talk will be valuable. Now, let us welcome Mr. Jason Chew, the Vice President of Access Malaysia, and our beloved speaker for today. Let's give a big round of applause for him.
All right. Thank you very much. Another round of applause to Yudu and Cindy, everyone. Thank you, Yudu, Cindy, for that fantastic intro. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Before I begin, I also want to convey my thanks first to Asia Pacific University as well as the APU Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Club. Did you find that they have done an amazing job? If you agree with me, please give them another round of applause. All right. Now, before I begin, I want to ask, how many of you are completely new to the concept of Web3? Can I see a raise of hands? Never hear Web3 before. Never hear Web3 before. All experts. Okay. How many of you have not had your first cryptocurrency? Have not had your first cryptocurrency? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. So, a lot of crypto whales here. Okay, the ones that did not raise hands, clearly, right. All right. Today's topic, the future is Web3. We're going to cover a few things. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to make sure, that all of you here are going to walk away with 3 things. Number 1, you're going to understand what Web3 isn't. That's the first thing we're going to establish because there's a lot of hype surrounding Web3. Then we're going to actually explore what Web3 actually is. Then it will become very clear why Web3 is not going to go away and why it is here to stay. And then last but not least, we're going to cover, what you can do to be a part of this really exciting new chapter in human evolution, that is Web3. And then we're going to end with an AMA, ask me any question, okay, session at the very end. So this event is going to be divided into two parts. Part one is going to take about like 40 minutes, and the second part will take about like 20 minutes, right? In total, about like 1 hour, okay? And then the floor is yours to ask me any questions, okay, you want to ask about very thing called Web3. Also very important, I am not a financial guru. I'm not an investment crypto guru or any sort. Okay, none of the content shared today, although there will be a lot of alpha, right, is treated as financial or investment advice. Please, okay, use this as a completely free resource to basically just hasten and faster your process of learning into this very interesting space called Web3. All right. The future is Web3. Now, when we talk about the future, right, I like to start, okay, with this statement, okay, because there are a lot of talented people in this room tonight, a lot of bright, young, intelligent minds, ambitious minds. And when we talk about the future, I like this quote a lot, and I think it's going to be very useful for all of you here. Number one, humans tend to overestimate what they can achieve in 2 years, but they underestimate what they can achieve in 10. This is a famous quote by Bill Gates in his book, The Road Ahead, 1995. Wait, go back. So let's give an example. Let's say, for example, how many of you have smartphones right now? All of you, right? All of you have smartphones. Do you realize that the smartphone did not exist in 2009? That's quite recent, you know, right? Just imagine how much change, okay, can be accomplished in just 10 years. So what you're about to learn today, there's going to be a lot of concepts which would seem very new, that might sound even scary, but if you see and if you pay attention closely, you might actually find that this, unsurprisingly, will be what will be the norm in the next 5 to 10 years. So let's cover first what is Web3 and what Web3 isn't. Now, my most basic definition that I can give to Web3 is all of the following, right? Let's starting with cryptocurrency falls under Web3, DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, metaverse, all of this, okay, falls under Web3. Now, if some of these terms, okay, sound very alien to you, don't worry. My job today is to make sure that all this will be explained very clear by the end of the next 40 minutes, right? But let's start with one buzzword, that is the metaverse. All right, how many of you have heard of this buzzword, the metaverse? So a question is, for all of you, what is the metaverse to you? Is it this? Is it go to meeting room, go on to Zoom so that you can mingle with friends in a virtual space? Is it like this? Is this your vision of the metaverse? Right? Where a powerful central figure is the one who decides what you should be seeing, what content you should be enjoying. So if this is not Web3, then what is? Number one, here's a summary, okay, of what to expect when you want to decide what is Web3 and what isn't Web3. The first thing that makes something Web3 is that the technology is decentralized. You don't have a central overlord who is basically deciding, a top central administrator who decides for you what should be right or what should be wrong. Number two, it is open. Anyone can participate in it. Number three, borderless. Anyone from anywhere in the world can participate. Number four, permissionless. You don't have to wait. If you want to see some form of change, you can immediately act on it without someone's permission. Number 4, censorship resistant. You don't have, you have access to the information. It is not blocked by anyone for you. And last but not least, you don't need to trust. Now, this concept here might seem like a lot, okay, but let me break it down. In Web3, it all starts with 2 primitives, and we're going to cover that right now, okay? The first primitive is Bitcoin, and the second primitive is Ethereum. Now, how many of you are not from APU? How many of you are not from APU? You came here outside, right? A good 50% of you, right? So a good 50% of you have not heard this before, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum. The last time I visited here, I gave the APU students a Bitcoin for beginners, so they might know the answer to this. But if I were to ask all of you right now, what makes Bitcoin special? Why does Bitcoin have value? What is the actual game changer? What is the answer in your head right now? Is it because it made a lot of people rich? Is it because it's a very good place to gamble and get rich quick? What is the reason that Bitcoin actually matters? So the reason why Bitcoin actually matters, and this is actually a video that was of Janet Yellen of the United States Treasury Department actually explaining, finally, she gets why Bitcoin matters. All right, but I'm going to explain it to you what it is. Number 1, Bitcoin is the world's first decentralized money that works. Okay, there's only 21 million, okay, Bitcoin, and in the last 13 years of its existence, there has never been a single double spend, which means that nobody can actually spend the same Bitcoin twice. Everything is openly and verifiable on the internet, okay? Who has Bitcoin and when? And how do we know that? Is because it is secured by a network of people from all parts of the world who voluntarily help by committing large amounts of electricity to ensure that no one is cheating. So what does this mean for us? Bitcoin, what Bitcoin actually did is that it is the world's first system of money where you can finally have confidence that it is true. Numbers can finally matter. People cannot just copy and paste Bitcoin. Everything, okay, who has Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin, who has sent who, how much Bitcoin and when. All this is openly verifiable, mathematically provable, and you can check it at any one time on the internet. And what Bitcoin actually did is to provide certainty in a time, okay, when people can just plug numbers and say numbers or print money, okay, irresponsibly. Not going to say who, but in this time and age, sometimes, okay, you do not know what to trust. And Bitcoin is that one really rare thing in the entire world that actually you can verify it to be true. And it is a source of truth that doesn't need trust because it relies on a lot of people to check on the work. And that's what makes Bitcoin valuable. Now, then comes the second primitive. After you understand Bitcoin becomes very boring very fast. Why? Because Bitcoin is just like a buku 555 where you just catatkan who has Bitcoin, who doesn't have Bitcoin, who sent to who and when. It's just a record. Then comes Ethereum. What makes Ethereum special? Why is it a second primitive in Web3? Ethereum is the world's second largest blockchain network because it can do what Bitcoin cannot do, which is it can allow people to build things on it. You hear of these things, NFTs. You hear of such things called DeFi. You hear of such things called metaverse. 90% of these are built on Ethereum first. And why is that possible? Because Ethereum offers people to write computer programs and record it on the Ethereum blockchain. What that means is that anything that you can imagine a computer can do, you can actually build it on Ethereum. So why is Ethereum a Web3 primitive? Number one is because it can do what Bitcoin cannot do. I need some help. Okay. One of the reasons is that because Ethereum can do what Bitcoin cannot do, it allows people to create their own rule sets. Bitcoin only has one rule set, right? Which is just basically there's 21 million Bitcoin and just all the computers just verify and check that that is true. Who has how many Bitcoin and what. But what Ethereum allows people to do next is that it allows people to write computer programs and then record it on the blockchain. And these rule sets are called smart contracts. Next. And then again, how is it that we are able to trust the information? Is because it is maintained by a decentralized network of computers from all over the world. We do not know who they are. They voluntarily do so to secure the network by committing large amounts of electricity to ensure that no one is cheating. Next. All right. So let's talk a little bit about smart contracts. This thing, okay, that Ethereum is very well known for. Why is this important? Why is this a game changer? Let me tell you a story, true story. So back in the year 2020, during DeFi summer, something very interesting happened to me. I was approached by a friend who I met in Thailand who says that, Jason, I come from the US and there is a token that I wish to buy, but because I am from the US, I'm not qualified, I'm not eligible due to some regulatory thing. So he says that, Jason, can you buy on my behalf? Just $1,000 worth of tokens. All right. So I and him went into an agreement that I would put in 200, I'll have some skin in the game, and he'll put $800. All right. And he would pay me an additional 200 ringgit, okay, for this service. Oh, okay. I get a, $200 for this service, right? To basically be honest, right? So I went and go buy these tokens, $1,000 worth. This token is the Flow blockchain. If you do not know what it is, the Flow blockchain is a blockchain which is very popular for NFT applications. Like, for example, NBA Top Shots, right? Is built by the same people of 𝗕𝗏𝘁𝗶𝘁, and there is a lot of activity on this. This blockchain became so popular that the token did a 300x, which means that the $1,000 worth of tokens that I have bought have become $300,000. Now, but I have an agreement with this person, okay, that 80% belongs to him, okay? So, and there's a vesting schedule of about like 2 years. There's a vesting schedule, so it's locked for 1 year, and then at the end of 1 year, 50% will be unlocked, and then for the remaining 50%, for the remaining 1 year, then every single month, okay, need to release. But basically, I was holding basically what was $1,000, and now it has become $300,000 worth of tokens. And now the responsibility is on me to act honestly to basically, when the time matures, that I would basically honor my side of the deal. Now, I think, okay, that my integrity is worth more than $1 million. So I actually dutifully, but I felt it. I felt the corruption, the greed to basically break my promise to him, right? Because every month I was sending him 33,000 ringgit worth of tokens. You get what I mean? For something that I agreed, okay, in the past for just about 800 ringgit. But this is me personally, right? Okay, a personal decision that I should act honorably. But if we scale it up, and we say that 100 people in this room had a similar arrangement, can we expect everyone to behave honorably? I think probability is very high that the answer is no. Agree? So this is where smart contracts become very, very powerful. Is because when two people, when a rule set is created and agreed upon, you don't have to trust the other person. The smart contract will automatically execute what was written before. And it lives forever on the blockchain and is verifiable. And that's the reason why smart contracts matter. Because in a normal case, next please, honor and integrity is very difficult to scale. But with smart contracts, we can. And soon you will be able to see a lot more of examples, okay, through this presentation. So this is Vitalik Buterin. He's the founder of Ethereum. Okay, he was featured on Time magazine a few months ago in April. And this is the reason why he created Ethereum in the first place. He was a player, okay, of World of Warcraft. Okay, and what happened was the game developers one day decided that this character, the warlock, is too powerful. So they decided to nerf his character and he could not sleep for 2 nights. And then that's what made him create Ethereum, because he then realized that the dangers, okay, when the control is held too much in just one entity. So we've covered, okay, 2 primitives. Bitcoin, the first primitive, the first example, okay, of creating systems where numbers actually matter, where people cannot cheat the system. Then we have Ethereum, which allows people to create their own rule sets called smart contracts and record it on the blockchain. Then the third primitives, NFTs, right? Non-fungible tokens. These took off so much, okay? Does anybody need an introduction? Has anybody not heard of NFTs? Anybody have not heard of NFTs? Everybody has heard of NFTs because they've done so well in the last 1 year. They've done so well that I was so surprised that people would actually tell me that, Jason, can you teach me DeFi? Hey, you know NFTs, how come? Yeah, but I don't know DeFi. People know NFTs before they know DeFi and they know about crypto. That's how powerful NFTs are. So what are NFTs? NFTs, okay, allow people to create a digital token that represents a unique existence, right? For example, an artist, and I think NFTs really took off last year when a particular artist named Beeple created a digital artwork in the form of an NFT, and it sold for $69 million US. And then suddenly the whole world started to take notice of NFTs. NFTs, okay, were also used, okay, by some artists in Malaysia, right? Most notably Red Hong Yi, who created one of the first NFTs where it is a physical piece of art and an NFT is created to represent the ownership of that NFT. Oh, sorry, the NFT is created to represent the ownership of that piece of art. And it sold for 325,000 ringgit Malaysia last year. So why are NFTs, okay, a Web3 primitive as well? Number one, because it allows for anyone to create a proof of a digital proof of unique existence that lives forever on chain, that is openly and transparently verifiable that this is the person who created the NFT. This is the person that issued the NFT. All this lives on chain forever and is verifiable. And it allows the creators to flow value seamlessly to the NFT owners. What do I mean by this? Give the best example in the world, 𝗲𝗏𝘁 Yacht Club, right? So 𝗲𝗏𝘁 Yacht Club is a collection of 10,000 NFTs, all unique. Every single ape is unique. They have traits that could be rarer than others, like for example, the gold skin, the pink skin, the red skin, right? And ape. And what happened is that the people behind the collection worked really hard to flow value seamlessly, okay, to the owners by having talks, okay, with 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗏 for Christie's to organize auctions, right? After proving that it lives forever in a chain, you can prove that it is rare, it is scarce. There's only 10,000 of them. All of them are unique. And we saw a record sale of about 3.4 million for just one ape, okay, last year as well, the golden ape. And then it went on further because of this, because of the fact that you can provably prove that something is rare and will live forever. A lot of celebrities, okay, have bought into the 𝗲𝗏𝘁 collection as well. People like Madonna, Eminem, Mark Cuban, Paris Hilton, Justin Bieber, Jimmy Fallon, etc. Right? Other collections also start to follow suit, okay, like Cool Cats. They had a collaboration with Time Magazine as well. Another example is Doodles, right? I'm showing you this example, okay, because I think this is very interesting. How Doodles is creating a global IP, right? Something that people can rally behind, something like Hello Kitty, something, okay, that people can feel proud of being a part of, right? So this is the Doodle physical in real life activation in March this year, right? In Southwest in one tech conference, okay, in America. Can you imagine, okay, if you were one of the 10,000 owners, how proud you will feel actually being in part of this like things. So NFTs can be used to create social clubs and global IPs, okay, where the creators can flow value to the users. Next. Another thing that is in my radar right now is what we call soul-bound tokens, is the next iteration of NFTs. Soul-bound tokens, okay, are tied to a particular address and cannot be transferred. This can be very useful for things that you want to prove, okay, that this person, like for example, a university certificate, right? Because you don't want that after studying for 4 years, that university certificate to basically pass and be tradable in the open market. It doesn't make sense. So this is something that is also in my radar and would probably become very, very useful also in the next 5 years. Now, we've already covered 3 of the primitives. There's a 4th primitive in Web3, and that is DeFi. What is DeFi? DeFi is short for decentralized finance. Now, decentralized finance basically allows people to conduct financial transactions directly from their cryptocurrency wallets without needing a bank. Okay, that's the shortest explanation. How many of you have not tried DeFi? All right, so majority of you have tried DeFi. So if I were to ask you a question right now, what do you think is the #1 use case of DeFi? If you shout out the correct answer, I will give you 0.01 Ether at the end of the show. What's the #1 use? Shout it out. #1 use case for DeFi. Degen farms, high APY, lending and borrowing, farming, staking, yield farming, all very good answers, but it's not the correct answer. The number one use case in DeFi, which makes actually DeFi so powerful, is stablecoins. All right. Yes, Luna, okay, UST is a bad example of a stablecoin. Okay. There's a lot of lessons that can be learned from Luna and DeFi. Maybe later and during the AMA, okay, I can share my thoughts on that. But when we talk about stablecoins, okay, when we talk about stablecoins, the three most popular stablecoins, okay, are these three. What are they? Stablecoins allow people to basically do three things with it. Number one, okay, so we have USDC, USDT, DAI, right? I'm not going to go into the details, okay? I think it's pretty straightforward what stablecoins are, but the impact of stablecoins are these three things. Number one, it allows real-time pricing of on-chain assets because you have something stable to basically price it in. That's number one. Number two, it facilitates trade of these on-chain assets. Number three, because it facilitates trades, the more stable coins that exist in the ecosystem, the more deeper the liquidity of the on-chain assets, right? The greater the adoption. Now, second game changer of DeFi is not lending and borrowing yet, it's Uniswap. Uniswap is a game changer, okay? Now, for those who are not familiar with DeFi, you're going to see this page, this kind of similar page, very often when you start using DeFi. And why is that the case? Is because Uniswap found something that works, all right? And because the nature of the space is that it is open, it is permissionless, it's decentralized, people can basically take this and reiterate, you know, an improved version of it. They try out, right? It's open. But what makes Uniswap, okay, amazing is because of it is what we call the automated market maker model. Let me give you a little bit of history lesson before this. Before Uniswap, how do people buy and sell assets? Usually they go to a centralized exchange, right? They go to an exchange like Luno, they go to an exchange like, you know, something overseas like Coinbase, right? Like Kraken, Binance, a lot. What are the difference between what Uniswap is offering and what these other companies are offering? Is that the traditional exchanges, they rely on market makers on both sides. People need to put buy orders, people need to put sell orders, okay, to make the books happen. But in the case of Uniswap, they have created a very beautiful, elegant, efficient model that does three things. Number one, it allows people to swap, okay, one asset to another through the liquidity pools. Number two, it also facilitates, okay, real-time price discovery of these on-chain assets, whether is it new ones, whether it's old ones, right? Very, very efficient. And number three, it enables people a new alternative to put their money into work. Like for example, capital efficiency. This is dated, the date is not listed here, but it's dated about a week ago, right? Where Uniswap showed some statistics, okay, that their pricing, you could actually get better prices on DeFi exchanges compared to like the traditional exchanges. Number two, capital efficiency as well as putting money to work. Like for example here, right? When people put, say, US dollars and Ether into a pool, there's about like 3 million, there's about like 300 million 7-day trading volume, right? And the people who put the money in the pool are earning 0.3% of fees, okay, from whenever people make a swap in this pool. What that means is, okay, this pool is generating 1% is 3 million, 0.3% is divided by 3 is about, this pool is generating about $1 million of income for the people who are contributing to this pool every single week, because it's 7 days. The trading volume is 7 days. So if you have money, idle cryptocurrency assets, Ether and USDC, that is not doing just sitting in your wallet, now you can actually put it to work and earn an income. So that's the beauty, okay, of decentralized exchanges. And Uniswap has surpassed $1 trillion in its lifetime of just 3 years in terms of trading volume. So if you just take the fee of 0.01%, that means that they have generated $10 billion to the people who have been providing liquidity to the protocol as an income for in the last 3 years. Uniswap, okay, is currently about 3.9 billion in TVL and continues, okay, to be a game changer in the space because it constantly, the developers constantly improve on the features, okay, that you can do on Uniswap. Now, all this, okay, will come into fruition, okay, and the relationship of Web3 in just a moment, but there's a third game changer in DeFi. And that is lending and borrowing. Lending and borrowing, okay, this is an example of lending and borrowing. Aave, all right? Aave allows people who have idle cryptocurrency assets in their wallets to put it into work by lending it out to people who need the money, right? For example, if I have idle USDT tokens not doing anything in my wallet, I can deposit it into Aave and earn an interest of 6.7%. Why? Because on the other side, there are people willing to borrow and pay a higher interest of 8%, right? So it makes sense, right? Okay, how you know the money making works. People are paying 8%, hence you're earning 6%, the protocol earns 2%. And Aave has $27 billion, okay, locked in it right now. That's the available amount of credit when you actually, you know, need money in the DeFi space. Very, very capital efficient. So when there is enough, because of all these DeFi protocols, when there is enough liquidity and sufficient social proof of people using it, what happens? This happens. Legitimacy is created. Most recently, right? Okay, 𝗲𝘁𝗏𝘀 cannot be denied. So much money, okay, have been put into buying and acquiring these really rare, provably rare collection of apes. Bitcoin, what used to be considered, you know, rat poison to some institutions, are all now changing tune. JP Morgan's changing tune. Goldman Sachs is changing tune. How is that possible? Even DeFi protocols are now in the interest, okay, of the legacy, you know, financial institutions. This one is just taken about a few days ago, where the founder of Aave, Stani Kuleshov, was in a panel with some people from Goldman Sachs. Right. And I want to share with you something very, very important. Okay, take a picture of this, okay, and go read it back at home. What creates legitimacy? This is written by Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum himself, right? Okay, where he breaks down, okay, what actually happens so that something becomes legitimate, right? And when you read this, then it becomes so clear why all this crypto, DeFi, NFTs are going to be here to stay. So we've covered, you know, see the journey, all right, from starting, okay, from Bitcoin, where it created a system where you can trust in numbers. And then you have Ethereum, another primitive which created a system which allows people to create new rule sets. And then you have NFTs and DeFi, right? The fifth primitive, which is DAOs, are now made possible. What are DAOs? DAOs are basically a coordination tool, all right? This is a famous quote, okay, by 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃 of Gitcoin. I love it so much. Anything in life that we do, we all want to coordinate resources to achieve an outcome. It's all coordination. I'll give you an example of a DAO. So this is 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃 DAO, right? 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃 is a game, right? I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's a digital pet game. Think of it like Pokemon, right? But what's the difference? Traditionally, when you play Pokemon, who makes money? The Pokemon company, right? They sell trading cards, they sell booster packs, they sell, TV shows, merchandise, etc. They generate a lot of revenue, they generate a lot of profit, and then the profit goes to the shareholders. Agree? Right? But in a DAO, what happens? Say in the case of 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃, when the game makes money, the DAO would earn 10% treasury. The players would earn 40%. The developers would earn 17%. And then 33% will be burned. So it's such a unique economic model that could not have existed before. And this is the beautiful thing, okay, about DAOs, because again, the numbers are provable, which means that if you have created this amount of DAO tokens, you can trust that amount of DAO tokens. It's because, okay, when you, say for example, when the game does very well, right? Or let's say, for example, if you were a game developer and you promise, okay, that this is the model that you're going to do, but when the game actually flies and makes billions and billions of dollars of money, then the corruption starts setting in. Do I share so much with the community? This changes, right, with a DAO, because they use smart contracts, because the smart contracts are the one that auto-execute according to it. And the reason why I want to share, okay, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃 DAO with you as a very good example is because it is one of the most active DAOs that exists today. So it is worth, okay, your time to go and explore and use it as a case study of how they do it if you are considering to do a DAO yourself. So that is one example of a profit-oriented DAO. Agree? Where basically it's a game. The game creates fun things to do. It sells digital items to the players. It generates revenues, and then it shares the revenues, okay, the profit with the players. Another way, okay, of a DAO that can function, which is non-profit, is, for example, Gitcoin. Gitcoin is another amazing example, okay, of doing so much good for the world. Why? What have they built? Gitcoin has built a platform where it allows people who want to give money and people who are looking for money, okay? It's a fundraising platform through grants, okay? And how it works basically, and it just started, okay? The latest round just started on June 8th, so it's right now June 11th. It's not too late to start a Gitcoin grant right now, okay? So how it works basically is, it would collect money from all the successful protocols in the Web3 space, like Aave, like Uniswap, etc., etc. And in this particular round, it has collected about $3 million worth of pledges in terms of grant money. And how it works is that it further divides it, okay, that, okay, this amount of money goes here, this amount of money goes there. And who decides that? A DAO, the Gitcoin DAO, right? Back. Right, and what's the product that Gitcoin has created. Gitcoin has created a platform where the grant money goes to the projects where it gets the most donors, unique donors. So it doesn't matter whether if, let's say, for example, one donor gives you, say, for example, $1,000, right? That's actually quite good. But it is actually more better if you have 100 donors giving you $1, right? Give you an example. The middle example here, there are 277 contributors who have donated a total of $2,900, which means on average, okay, these 277 contributors have contributed about $10 each. And Gitcoin would match that grant with 12,000 US dollars. It's not a one-to-one matching, It's based on the number of contributors, okay, that it managed to got. So it has a mechanism that pools and get consensus, the social consensus from people on what deserves more attention from the community. Okay, another example, ENS Vision collected $200 US from 88 contributors, which means that $1, $1, $1, or $2, you know, from various contributors. And then Gitcoin matches it with 3,000 US dollars of grant money. This one, 400 US dollars collected from 100 contributors. So which means that each one only gave about like maybe 40 cents. Is it? Or $4, sorry, $4. Each one gave about like $4. And it's matched, okay, with 5,000 US of grant money. So these kinds of tools were not available before. And now there is an opportunity for asymmetric gain, thanks to Web3. Another example, okay, of a DAO is a woman empowerment DAO called Blue DAO. Okay, they have successfully raised $2 million US to basically empower more women to become builders in Web3. All right, they have sent, okay, women to participate in hackathons all across the world, like for example, 𝗕 Denver, 𝗕 Rio, 𝗕 Amsterdam, and they also have successfully, those women hackers have successfully won the top prize in all those hackathons as well. So these are examples, okay, of what DAOs, okay, are able to do, just touching the surface. And guess what? We've covered all the 5 primitives. Number 1, we've covered Bitcoin. We've covered Ethereum. We've covered NFTs. We've covered DeFi. We've covered DAOs. And it does not end here, because it does not end in one chain. The possibilities, okay, is infinite, because we are now entering what we call a multi-chain world. Whatever we see here is going to be replicated in more and more places. Why? Okay, so let's take Ethereum for example. What is Ethereum? Ethereum is like the big city. Okay, it's like when people were building DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, dApps. It was all fun until the demand for Ethereum, for dApps, for DeFi became so crazy high that the block space could not take it, and the transaction fees, okay, was at its limit, right? It's no longer fun to do DeFi on Ethereum when every single transaction costs 100 US dollars. Every time you want to mint, okay, an NFT, say for example, you want to participate, okay, in a very, you know, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, other side. To participate in that, the gas fees went as high as 5,000 US dollars just to mint, okay, the NFT. It becomes not fun already. So what happens, okay, is that there are all these alternative chains that have emerged. The first one is Binance Smart Chain in 2021. Okay, they were the first, okay, to basically move really fast and copy every single thing that Ethereum had. Uniswap, they have PancakeSwap. Okay, Aave, they have their version of it. Okay, etc., etc. And whatever that Ethereum had, create it so that people could enjoy DeFi. So they were very successful in that. They got a lot of traction. Then Polygon came along. Okay, even cheaper fees, 1 cent. Instead of $100, 1 cent. This is the best place to, in my opinion, okay, for a beginner, because even if you make a mistake, right, also not so pena, right? Then you have Harmony. Harmony is very interesting because Vitalik, okay, in the roadmap of Ethereum says that we're going to do sharding, but sharding is like maybe 2 years down the road. So Harmony went on and says that, oh, let's just create a new chain, okay, and implement whatever Vitalik suggested already. So this is another chain. Avalanche, another chain. Arbitrum, another layer 2 chain. Optimism, another chain. All these, okay, where the fees are significantly less than Ethereum. And Near Protocol as well, who I think they are in the house tonight. Near Protocol, thanks for coming. So all this, okay, is happening right now, and all these are like, you know, the big, Ethereum is like the big city, is like Kuala Lumpur, always traffic jam, okay, always congested, everything is very pricey, nasi lemak also pun 16 ringgit, you know, that kind of thing. Binance Smart Chain is, which place, Binance Smart Chain? Penang, huh? Okay. Polygon is where? Polygon Seremban. All right, okay, Harmony Subang Jaya, Avalanche, you know. So when people ask me the question, okay, whether if let's say, you know, say for example, if they build DeFi, okay, in this place or that place, and then Ethereum becomes Ethereum 2.0, would all these other become obsolete? If Petaling okay, became very, very, how do I say, if Petaling built a shopping mall and KL built a larger shopping mall, does that mean that Petaling become less relevant? Not really, right? Okay, so this, ladies and gentlemen, is what the metaverse actually is. Seeing ecosystems, seeing DAOs, seeing DeFi's, NFTs, seeing ownerships, okay, being built and shared across seamlessly, trustlessly, verifiably on-chain that lives forever. This is what is known as the metaverse. And because of this, this is why the future is Web3. So we've covered, okay, what Web3 isn't. We've covered what Web3 actually is, why the future is Web3 and is here to stay. Okay, there's one more part, okay, after this 10-minute toilet break, okay, how you can be part of Web3. But before you go on a break, I want to let you guys know, okay, that there is a NFT that I'd like to give to all of you. Okay, please, okay, scan this QR code, claim the NFT. Is an NFT to prove, okay, that you've been here today, that you've listened to this talk, and one lucky winner who owns the NFT at the end of this will win a special prize. So with that, back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your awesome sharing session, Mr. Jason. So if you enjoyed part 1 of the talk, wait till you see part 2 of the talk. But before that, we'll have a short 10 minutes break.
Oh, so Yudish, how are you enjoying the event so far?
But I think it's been pretty resourceful, and I like how I like how Mr. Jason explained about metaverse. You know, really related to real life, right? But I think we should also ask the audience what they think about.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go around and ask some people. Okay, who shall we ask? Okay. Right, I see this gentleman here. Maybe you would like to share something. Yeah, maybe you want to introduce yourself and say one thing you like about the event so far.
Yeah, I'm Leon here. Yeah, thank you, Yudish. I knew him since 2-3 years ago. He picked me because he know me, I think. Yeah. I love it in a way that this is actually my first crypto event that I joined. Okay, Jason is seeing me. Everybody's looking here. Oh, so scary. Okay, all right. So yeah, I love it. I'm pretty new in the space as well. I can see there's a lot of also varieties of people here. Yeah, so a good learning, and I never heard of a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things that's being shared right now. And the presentation and everything being going through, and the team did over here. I personally was an event organizer, and everything is pretty well done. Yeah. I love it, enjoying it.
All right, thank you, Leon.
Okay, I have another one here. Hi, Mister. Can you share a bit about yourself and share what you like about the event?
Okay, great. Thank you. My name is Nicholas Wong. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this event pretty much from the beginning of the announcement of this event because it's from the speaker Jason Chu, which I very much love because he is a very insightful speaker and he has already motivated me to do more in this Web3 space and try to uh, get more blockchain knowledge to all of the others that wanted to join this space but didn't really know how. So he really motivates me a lot, and I have learned a lot from his talk right now as well. So yeah, I'm very glad that there's a lot of people here joining in this session as well. So if you want to know more, please be sure to join the blockchain club as well in our APU. And you can also join the Access Blockchain Association Malaysia through the website. You can just go Google search it and you can learn much more from there. And that's what I have to say for today.
Thank you for your response. I'll now pass the floor back to you, Dish.
All right, thank you for insightful sharings, and I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed the talk so far. For those of you who like to go to the washroom or just chill for a bit, there are ushers available to help direct you to the appropriate locations.
Yeah, do have a rest, and we will see you back again in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Thank
Right.
you. No, the bell. All right, it seems like everyone is back. I hope all of you guys had enjoyed your break. Now, another reminder to silence your phone so that we can avoid any disruptions to the talk.
Okay, so without further ado, let us invite Mr. Jason again to the stage.
All right, so now we've come to the final part. Oh, I'm gonna wait. Give you all 20 more seconds to settle down, right? Okay, so let me just do a quick recap, okay, of what we covered so far. Why is Web3, okay, the future? Is because there's a lot of things and there's a lot of interconnected parts. And I hope that, okay, the first session has given you a very clear, large picture, okay, of how things, okay, weave into the narrative, okay, of why Web3. It all starts with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the world's first that allows us a system, okay, where numbers can finally matter. And then Ethereum allows us to build new rule sets, our own rule sets. You know, it's not that we don't have rules, it's just that it's not controlled by a single party. You know, it can be controlled by a community, right? And then the third one, okay, NFTs allow us to create digital proofs for unique identification and existence. And then soon we're going to see soul-bound tokens as well, SBTs. Then next we have DeFi. DeFi is amazing because DeFi allows, okay, assets to discover price discovery very efficiently. If something is a shitcoin, then it's very, very quickly, you know, identified as a shitcoin, right? If something is truly valuable, it will find its way, okay, to be very valuable as well, right? So that is what DeFi allows us to do, right? You now also know some of the use cases for DeFi, stablecoins, lending, okay, borrowing, the ability to swap, trade on DEXs, okay, the game changer Uniswap, that can even match some trading volumes of some of the largest traditional exchanges in the world. And then finally, we have DAOs. Allows us to coordinate resources in a transparent, in an openly verifiable manner, so that, you know, we actually can see an alternative to things that traditionally would be subjected to corruption. All right, so now in this final part, I have 6 things that I'd like to share with you, how you can actions, small little actions, progressively small actions, okay, and then larger actions that you can take so that you can be more and more active in Web3 and capture many, many possibilities and opportunities in this space. All right. So I have 6 things, okay, I'd like to share with you, 6 steps, okay, how you can be part of Web3. The first step is actually a transitory step. It's actually a Web2 step. Okay, the first step is get on Twitter. So why Twitter? I'll give you several good reasons why Twitter. The first reason, okay, is that do you agree that today things move so fast that you cannot wait for a book to come out to learn all this stuff? So I learned all my alpha through Twitter. Okay, because but wait, there is a caveat, because this is also social media. So if there's a specific way, okay, that you should be using Twitter, because if you are seeing a lot of pump and dump, get rich quick, buy this NFT now, you know, that kind of thing, then you're probably using Twitter the wrong way. I'd like to share with you how I use Twitter. Number 1, okay, understand, okay, this concept called the Dunbar number, all right? The Dunbar number is a scientific number to prove that this is the maximum number of stable connections, relationships that any one person is able to sanely have, okay, right? So that you're connected with these people, right? So that number is 150. That's the maximum. All right. So what I like to do on my Twitter is I like to follow maximum 150 people who I feel, okay, that what they share brings value to me. Okay. All right. So use this, okay, also as a, and when that happens, what happens is that when you follow someone who is intelligent, who you find, okay, that, wow, what they write is so insightful, okay, you will start to see your entire feed, okay, every morning. When I wake up, the first thing that I do is I do check the crypto prices, okay. Number 2 is that I will open Twitter to see what is the news of the day. Because when I follow, you know, like 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗏, okay, and if let's say, for example, the Luna and the Terra hack, right, I appreciate his thoughts in the matter. He will write, you know, his tweet, 1, I think there's 2, 3, 4, and I read the entire thread. And that's how I, you know, understand and I learn really, really quickly in the space, and I get myself updated. So use this, okay, get on Twitter, because it's too slow to basically learn things from a book. And use the Dunbar number to filter, all right, until you get the quality information that you want. Number 2, in order to enjoy Web3, you need to have an identity, which means you need to have a wallet, okay? So in the past, how do you, in Web2, what actually gives you your identity in Web2? Your email address, right? Log in using email, log in using Google, log in using this and that, right? That's how you connect. But in Web3, how we identify a person in Web3 is through your cryptocurrency wallet address. So in this case, it's Ethereum. Ethereum being 90%, okay, of DeFi, NFTs, metaverse, right, is built on Ethereum. Hence, okay, you should start having a Ethereum wallet address. So that's the second thing. And there's a few tips here. Number 1, have a master address. okay, where this one is, you need to be very careful with your security, especially if you're starting to build your crypto wealth, right? You need to keep your seed phrase safely away from anyone, okay, even your partner, all right? Okay, depends on how much you trust your partner, right? So keep it safe, okay? Set up your, and then one for regular use, which means that day-to-day kind of like transactions, right? Okay, when you want to participate, okay, in DAO governance, etc., you use the less important wallet address. Number 3, start learning about crypto economics, okay? Like for example, Bitcoin has a crypto economics model. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. It's very, very simple. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Then you will start to learn, okay, that every single cryptocurrency network system out there has its own cryptocurrency, crypto economic model, like Ethereum. Ethereum is actually inflationary, okay, which means that it started, I think, with 100 million Ether total supply, and then it inflates. There will be new Ether that will be created every single year. But then last year, the crypto economics have changed. Again, not because of a central authority that decides, but because the community decided to implement EIP 1559, which the biggest takeaway is that when people start, the more people started to use Ethereum to process transactions, every single transaction burns Ether, which means destroys Ether, taking away Ether total supply from the thing, making Ether less and less available. When that happens, the crypto economics change, subject to the network activity. The more people use Ethereum, if that outweighs, okay, the issuance of new Ethereum becomes deflationary, okay, and becomes less and less scarce and becomes something like Bitcoin. So learning crypto economics, okay, is extremely, extremely valuable to you. Another thing, okay, what I learned, okay, about crypto economics is that when you do learn crypto economics, you can tell very quickly if a project is trying to scam you, okay? You can very easily identify a Ponzi scheme. You can identify whether this is a cash grab, whether this is for the long-term or the short-term gain. Learn to code. This is an amazing opportunity because you are basically able to build the future of Web3. You're able to identify what is needed and actually execute on it. So on Ethereum, the computing language is Solidity. That is what smart contracts are written by. But there are other opportunities as well. Like, for example, you saw the big metaverse slide just now. Near Protocol has probably its own language. Harmony probably has its own language. Arbitrum, Avalanche, etc. So there are a lot of opportunities, okay, looking for good, talented people to build in their ecosystem. And if you can put yourself forward and capture those opportunities, you will go far. Number 5, this is something which is I'm deeply passionate about, and why I fell in love with Ethereum in 2019. I fell in love with 2019 because the first event I attended was DEF CON Osaka. And how I went to DEF CON Osaka is another miraculous story in itself. But when I got there, my mind shifted. My mind shifted because when I was in DEF CON Osaka 2019, before DEF CON Osaka 2019, my mind in crypto is still, I'm in crypto because there's a lot of rich people and you can make money, right? That was my mindset. But when I went to DEF CON Osaka 2019, I got a culture shock because nobody at the Ethereum event talked about price. And that shook me. So what do they talk about? They talk about, what are you building? what are you building? What are you building? What are you building? And if you're lucky, they will say, what are you building? How can I help you? What are you building? DeFi, how can I help you? What are you building? NFT project, how can I help you? You're building a public good, how can I help you? This kind of mindset blew me away so much, okay, that, it's so different from the profit obsessed, the extractive, whenever you meet people, they just want to extract value from you, extract. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Ethereum is totally so special, so different. And one of those examples, okay, I'm sorry that the POAP, okay, QR code were having some issues just now, right? I'll solve it. But POAP, okay, is an example of a public good. It basically is a service where it allows anyone to create an NFT, okay, as a digital proof of unique event. Say, for example, you want to give a POAP, proof of attendance, right, to, your event, or you want, okay, to give a POAP, okay, to prove, okay, that you have met a person, etc. You can do it, you can create this NFT for free. Now, how is this possible? Where does POAP get its funding? So POAP is an example of a public good, which means that everyone can enjoy, and how it gets its funding is from the entire Web3 industry. They get their funding from Aave, they get their funding from Uniswap, they get their funding from Gitcoin grants, and today they are well funded, okay, to fund the next 10 years of development. Meanwhile, allowing people to enjoy, okay, the free service that is POAP. So we should have more public goods, and this is one example, okay, of the direction I would like, okay, all of you to consider actually heading to as well. Last but not least, okay, how you can be involved in Web3 is to participate in a DAO. What is a DAO? We've given some examples, okay? There are some profit DAOs, for-profit DAOs, like for example, 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗴𝗏 DAO is one example, right? They develop a game, you want to influence, okay, the game, how the game is played, you participate in a DAO, right? And if you want to give, usually a DAO has a treasury, right? Like for example, 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗏 DAO, remember, every time they create something, 10% goes into the treasury. So they have a treasury. If if this was live and I could give, a live example, if you visit www.𝗕𝗶𝘁.com and you locate the treasury, you will find that their treasury is at least $500,000, okay, just for people to write in proposals and says that, hi, I think this would be good for the game. I can build the UI better. I can do this. I can be an ambassador, etc., right? Participate in a DAO, be proactive, okay, and that would help speed up your process. I'd like to also share, okay, that we, okay, from Access Malaysia is also building a DAO to make this happen next year. So next year, I've already shared why I love Ethereum, okay, and how I fell in love with Ethereum. I think that Ethereum, okay, is an opportunity, okay, to bring new, fresh energy, okay, into Malaysia, okay, to reinvigorate the space, to give young people, okay, something to be excited to build, to give them exactly what I experienced, okay, in DEF CON Osaka 2019. And when we do this, we are the first in Southeast Asia to actually do this, bringing Ethereum to Malaysia next year, 5th to 7th of May 2023. I want to let you know what to expect. Ethereum events all over the world is a 3-day event, okay? The main event is a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is a hackathon. It's not a conference, okay? It's a hackathon, which means that it's a competition that people, okay, would form teams, both technical and non-technical people form teams on Friday, and then by Sunday, they work 24 hours. They don't sleep. They sleep at KLCC, right? And they would hack. They would hack, and they will come out a minimum product by Sunday, and then the judges would basically judge and then distribute prizes and award prizes, right? So Ethereum events are Very, very special. But the main event, the 3 days, is not the most exciting part also. The most exciting part is the 1 week before the events. So this year I was very lucky. I was able to travel to Denver, Colorado for ETH Denver in February. I also was very lucky. I was able to travel to Amsterdam in April, okay, for ETH Amsterdam. And it is the 1 week before that where there's a lot of talks, a lot of workshops, a lot of parties, networking parties, after parties, right? Where people can actually, you can build a lot of meaningful relationships during this time. And then finally, when everything is over, the 1 week after as well, okay, the retreat, okay, building, more, meeting more people and just letting your hair down. So this is our plan. We are going to do, okay, 1 week of pre-events, then the main event, and then there will be one retreat. And this is an initiative, okay, by Access, a Blockchain Association of Malaysia. I'm sorry if I didn't introduce myself earlier. I'm the Vice President for Access Blockchain Association. And who we are, basically back in 2017, the government, okay, of Malaysia, Bank Negara, wanted to ban cryptocurrencies altogether, just a blanket ban. It was the founding members of Access, okay, including of Matthew Tan of Etherscan, 𝗕𝗏𝘁𝗶𝘁. Where's 𝗕𝗏𝘁𝗶? 𝗕𝗏𝘁 or Bitcoin Malaysia, Effendi, Anson, Nazri, Suraya from Ringgit, who came together to basically form a task force to interface with the regulators and to establish better policies and say that, no, this would be bad for the country. Okay, this would actually be very, very bad for you did that. So it is because of their work, that's why today we have 4 digital asset exchanges, 4 cryptocurrency exchanges in Malaysia. That's why we have a relatively friendly, okay, cryptocurrency environment in Malaysia and the blockchain industry. It's because of the work of the people before me. So this is going to be an initiative by the association, and we're going to be the world's, Southeast Asia's first DAO. We're going to form that. Most likely, okay, we're going to do that lawfully. Okay, most likely incorporate the DAO in somewhere maybe like Wyoming. Okay, maybe you can ask me the question later why, right? And we've done all these events before. We are ready. We've done, okay, Southeast Asia DeFi Week before DeFi was a thing. We've done the NFT, okay, awareness programs through the association. And why I feel so that this is going to do so much good for our country is because number one, it's going to attract, galaxy brains, okay, some of the world's brightest people into our country to spend an entire week, right? So we're targeting 3,000 people. Can you imagine 3,000 people, right? If 20, if they spend how much are they going to spend, right? That's a lot of money coming into the city. And that's not including the night economy as well, right? So this is part of the presentation that we did, okay, to the DBKL, to the Ministry of Federal Territories, and etc., to get their buy-in as well. Quite positive. Can you imagine the jobs, okay, that, if Ethereum were to happen here, right? Can you imagine, okay, how happy, okay, we will feel, how proud we will feel as a country, right? If we are able to attract Vitalik Buterin to deliver a keynote at KLCC. What kind of signal are we giving to the entire, Southeast Asia continent, right? Say, imagine, okay, the KLCT is on board, and then, 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏, right? Or let's say, for example, during the entire week, during the pre-week, when you go and call a Grab Uber, pergi mana? Oh, 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏, pergi 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏, right? And then every single, LED screen on Bukit Bintang, 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏. What kind of good can it comes to the city? You see a lot of places, very, very good buildings, but they're all empty. But if we can attract all these, new life force into our country, increase our chance, okay, of basically filling up and having all these protocols, billion-dollar protocols like Aave and Uniswap to set up a regional hub, because they are looking at Southeast Asia as well. So just came back from ETH Amsterdam in April. They have set the bar really, really high, okay, and Was very lucky. Met Vitalik as well. We have a genuine chance. I'm not promising anything, but we have a genuine chance, okay, of bringing Vitalik to Malaysia next year. And we're now forming our team, okay? If you would like to be part of our founding team to make the first Ethereum event in Southeast Asia happen so that we can shape the Web3 industry in Malaysia, please take a picture of this right now, okay? Fill up the form, okay? I am specifically looking for 2 people, okay, who have leadership qualities, okay, to basically make 𝗵𝗲𝗃 happen. So with that, okay, this slide is supposed to be for the PO app just now, right? So what I wanted to do and demonstrate earlier, just to explain, is that all of you, okay, received the NFT, right? And then what happens is that there's a function that allows me to run a lucky draw. Whoever has the NFT basically has 1 chance to win. You know what I mean? And then it'll randomly select at the end of the entire thing. And then it lives forever. All these records live forever on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so that there's no dispute, okay, who is the winner, and there's no cheating, right? So this is what I wanted to demonstrate earlier, okay, and I'm sorry that I couldn't do that, okay, because we're running a live stream right now and everything is very things, but we'll find a way, okay, to still choose a winner later. With that, okay, I'd like to pass back, okay, to our moderator. Thank you very much, okay, for listening to my talk. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a lot.
Thank you very much for Mr. Jason Chew. Now let's give another round of applause to our beloved speaker. And now it will be the time for the Q&A session.
Right, so I'm just curious to know how many of you completely understand what has been shared so far. Just give me a show of hands. Right, higher guys, come on. Okay, now how many of you are still processing it? Now how many of you have no clue what is going on so far? Okay, that's a lot. Never mind, don't worry, because this Q&A session, we will try to answer as many doubts and questions as we can, right? Okay, so, however, taking the privilege of being the MC, let me lay down the first question I have for Mr. Jason.
Okay.
So my first question is, what is the one red flag you see when people are building in Web3?
Okay, thanks very much. This is a very good question. And so the biggest red flag, okay, that I see in Asia, whenever people want to build in Web3, is the wrong mindset, right? So very often, okay, a lot of people say that they want to build their own blockchain. Okay, they want to build their own chain, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a blockchain if everybody wants to build their own blockchain, right? Blockchain, okay, you don't need to build your own blockchain, right? Building your own blockchain requires basically getting the trust of the community. Why is it that you... So even if you're as big as, say, for example, IBM, or you're big as Microsoft, okay, or you're a big bank, if every single big bank, okay, created their own blockchain, it's still the same problem anyway. It's like, why should the other bank, like, integrate with your chain? There's still that trust issue. So again, the biggest red flag that I see and the biggest waste of resource, in my opinion, is basically people just jumping in and want to building their own chain.
That's an interesting perspective. It's actually something I just learned. Yeah, thank you for that perspective. I think Cindy, you'd like to ask the next question?
All right, I have another question. As Web3 is trending recently, do you see thousands of blockchain in the future?
Thanks, Cindy. So for me, I actually see thousands of applications, but maybe just a handful of blockchains, because blockchains are not sexy. Okay, what blockchains are for is basically certainty, right? How certain are you? Why is it that Ethereum is like the #1, still the dominant, okay, smart contract machine, right? Is because of its established history. And then now we see a lot of these emerging, chains, which is basically solving what Ethereum cannot do, which is basically scalability, right? But building your own blockchain is actually very boring and very technically challenging work. It's about, like who is able to validate the blocks, who is able to participate in the consensus, okay? The sequencing, which block comes first, right? Those are the kind of things, that I don't think, say for example, Microsoft or IBM is actually interested in solving those problems. So what I think, in the future, a lot of brands will come to realize is that they don't need to create their chains. They can build on top of the existing chains because the existing chains already has established the history, right? The next question then they should ask is that, what chain should I build on, right? In terms of costs, in terms of incentives, in terms of time to build, in terms of technical capability, right? And then when that happens, then yeah, we will start to see a speed up of more applications building on blockchain. So thousands of applications, only a handful of blockchains.
All right, thank you for the insight, Mr. Jason. Now, can I have a show of hands for those who have questions?
Okay, I think I see a few hands. Maybe, yeah. Okay.
Hi. Good day, everybody. So I have a question to Mr. Jason. So with all the presentations today, it's easy to say that Ethereum is gonna be it's gonna have a very big future ahead of us. Like it's a very technologically advanced developments happening, right? So what makes you bearish? How do you test your assumptions?
Right.
What makes you worry? Because all of this is all good and well, but what makes you worry about blockchain? And how do you test your assumptions?
Okay, so what makes me worry is, first and foremost, I'm not bearish at all. Okay, right? And the reason I'm not bearish at all is because you saw that, the number of people at Amsterdam building, building, and all the development that happens every single week, right? Like this country adopts Bitcoin. That government, has passed this crypto bill, that law, that is more crypto friendly. All these things never existed 3 years ago, right? So beyond, all the noise that you see and the fact that in the short-term price action, that people feel really, really down because, yeah, the crypto price, the crypto market cap dropped from its peak of $3 trillion down to 1.2 right now, which means that there's a $1.8 trillion drawdown. Now, I don't know about you, but I got a feeling that none of us here has $1.8 trillion, right? So it's not really in our control to basically, like, it's definitely something, of the market structure that is very different today. There's a lot of, compared to 3 years ago, there's a lot of institutions, who bought Bitcoin or Ether. There's a lot of Wall Street players. There's a lot of leverage players. They play leverage. And it's clear, that these are the people that actually exited their money because they are not in it. They are not in it, for the long term. They still see crypto as a risk-on asset. So when the Federal Reserve increase interest rates, then they take a risk-off, stance, and then what's that? They cash out, and then that's the drawdown on that. But in terms of bearishness, I'm not bearish at all. There's so much news. The underlying news. Every time I hear, this this amount of adoption has happened, right? This amount of tech has achieved a new stat. All these, just makes me more bullish about the future. And every time people continue to feel more and more bearish, I actually feel more and more bullish, actually, because the more people that feel bearish, seen it before, happen before, you know, okay, the more bigger the recovery would be in the future. But again, this is not financial advice. I'm not bearish at all.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. So let's have the next question. Here, I think the person in the yellow dress over there. Yeah, so.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Jason. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for the talk. I'm Putri. I'm a blockchain engineer. And a question that I think is helpful for almost everyone who wants to build. How would you recommend which chain do we build on? And if, for example, in the future we find like, oh, there's a blockchain that is better, can there be migration of dApps? Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for that question. Basically, I think, okay, that the goal is basically to build on Ethereum. But if you're learning, right, you would want, okay, to build on something that has lesser transaction fees, smaller, so when you make mistakes also, it won't be so painful. Then again, there's things called testnet, right? Even if you want to build on Ethereum, you don't have to build on Ethereum mainnet. You can build it on the Ethereum testnet. Another thing that I would also factor into is that because the metaverse is growing, you have, you know, all these emerging chains like Harmony, like New Protocol, like Avalanche, Optimism, Polygon, what else did I miss? Arbitrum. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite alternative chain? Alternate chain. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite, Cindy? Binance Smart Chain? Okay, now, right. So BNB chain, right. So there's so many chains, right? Okay. You should be proactive. What I would say, proactive and look out for those chains which are hungry for developers, okay, and have incentives, right? Because Ethereum is so big already, right? Okay. What they're looking for is the best of the best, right? So if you're just starting out, okay, look for those places where they are hungry for new developers to build on it, right? And that's where I will see that there's a lot of opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Jason, and thank you for the good question. Another hand.
So there's two more hands. Mr. Kyung. Yeah, the one with the white jacket.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. No, thank you so much for wonderful sharing today. We've learned so much about the exciting future and how much money all the people want to participate in building blockchain, in participating in events and kind of thing. Speaking as a boomer, okay, our primary interest is great. We love all this. We see the future. We see where it's headed. How do we participate by investing? What are your thoughts? And maybe you can share a few things with us for as to if we have some money to invest in this new dynamics into the future in this blockchain, what would you recommend that we do?
First of all, don't, not financial advice. Okay, not financial advice. Ooh, I'm feeling the heat already. Okay, well, first and foremost, okay, the thing that I always say to people, okay, is that when you come into crypto, if you're not prepared to hold your crypto for 10 years, then don't hold it for 10 minutes. That's the first thing, okay, right? And the reason for it is this. There is so much money in the world. If I were to ask you how much money is there in the world, bro, how much money is there in the world? Give a number. Cindy, how much money is there in the world? Just a number. Give a number. 10 trillion.
10 million.
10 million. I think Elon Musk already got more than money in whole world, yeah.
550 trillion.
Okay, right. Not bad. Okay, so my estimate, okay, my estimate, okay, of how much money in the world is 900 trillion. Okay, 900 trillion. That's all money, all cash, all property, all real estate, all art, all gold. Okay, if you liquidate all that, 900 trillion. Now, I want you to imagine this stage is a big ocean. This is a big ocean, right? Okay, and on this ocean, there are two big ships. One big ship, $10 trillion. US is a US ship. Another big ship, China, another $10 trillion. Okay, right? No, let's make it bigger. 100 trillion. Okay, US ship 100 trillion, China ship 100 trillion. Okay, right? Now, what is crypto? Crypto is a small sampan, 1.2 trillion right now because it draw down by 80%, right? 1.2 trillion. Now, when people feel good about crypto, for whatever reason, good reasons, bad reasons, the volume, can you imagine the volume of money flowing from the big ship, 100 trillion, 100 trillion? Can you imagine the volume of money flowing into the small sampan in huge amounts, right? Now, similarly, when people feel bad about crypto, for whatever reason, good reasons, bad reasons, rational reasons, irrational reasons, can you imagine the volume of money flowing out of the sampan? Hundreds of trillions, hundreds of trillions. What happens to the boat, small boat? Goyang lah, up and down, right? This is why the cryptocurrency market is so volatile. That is why you should not go into this crypto market, okay, in the short term. If you cannot, if you're not prepared to hold for 10 years, don't even hold for 10 minutes, okay? Now, that's one thing. So very difficult to say, okay, ask a boomer, okay, don't touch it for 10 years, right? But I would say that, you know, a lot of the boomers, okay, they are very experienced in investing. So they would know, they would have managers, okay, who manage their risks. Consider, okay, that, you know, that crypto, okay, within crypto, there is also varying different risk levels. And if you manage it properly, right, okay, there are higher risk new projects to look out for, okay, that can actually 100x or 50x, okay, in the short, medium term. But again, need to make sure, okay, that's within your risk. Again, not financial advice. If you hear somebody, okay, putting $1 million, right, okay, aping into a pool, please know that that person is probably different, in a different position than all of us, okay? Because when he or she puts in $1 million, is probably maybe 1% of his or her portfolio. That's not us, okay? Right? Okay, so if they burn it, right, they're okay. If you do it, okay, you put your life savings in it, that's just basically a no-no, right? So that it would be what I would say, okay, in terms of investment, okay, risk management.
Thank you.
I think next question maybe
over that.
The person beside the mask thing.
Okay, so we got 3 more hands. And any more questions on the left? Any more questions on the right? Okay, last 3 questions.
Hello guys, my name is Michael. I'm crypto boy in the space called DeFi. So basically, I have a questions right on DeFi because I really love in DeFi. So how do DeFi like integrate with the traditional finance, like creating real finance, like real finance like that? Do you see that in the future, in 10 years or from now, right, that DeFi can actually integrate with banks, conventional banks like PayPal, traditional banks? Do you see that?
Yes.
Like in what ways?
So I think the biggest hurdle is basically regulation in this regard, right? So I do think, okay, that institutions are starting to take notice already, and they're starting to open up and they're starting to learn. But even when they are interested and open to learn, the legacy infrastructure does not allow them to, because it still falls under, you know, like, okay, the local jurisdiction, okay, or what their regulations are that might prevent them, okay, because sometimes even regulators, they don't talk to each other, right? Okay, so it's a longer process, okay, to get these things done. But being open source, okay, permissionless, censorship-resistant protocols, yeah, anyone, even institutions, can actually integrate, okay, their products into it. It's just that they need to iron out those language, okay, with their local regulators, okay, so that they can actually lawfully in their jurisdiction provide that service.
So just one more question. Because we know Malaysia right now, the securities is not very secure, like data leak, everything. How do you see that if we created something in blockchain, right? Will that become more secure? Like having, because they do protocol, right? In Malaysia, like developer in Malaysia do protocol. So how do we trust that that platform is secure?
I don't know. For me, let's say so I'm trying to unpack your question here into two parts. Number one, you are saying, okay, are you asking me, okay, that
the risk of going to DeFi, you get hacks, right? And a lot.
yes, there's a lot of risk. Okay, so when it comes to DeFi, all right, all the people here, just now I saw only a few hands only never tried DeFi before. Everyone else here is expert, right? So for those who actually never tried DeFi before, just know that you still need to trust something, right? Okay, which is that you're now trusting on something that's new, which is a smart contract. You're trusting that the smart contract does not have vulnerabilities, does not have backdoors, does not have, that a hacker, okay, would be able to, like, for example, Aave has $27 billion in it, right? In a way, it is kind of like a reflection of how much confidence people have with the Aave smart contract. That's why there's $27 billion in the smart contract, right? But also it makes it a very good honeypot, which means that hackers would constantly try, to attack the Aave protocol. But the longer, okay, that the Aave smart contract could resist an attack, the more confidence that it gains as well. Give you another example. Bitcoin. Bitcoin for 13 years, all right? A lot of people say that nobody can hack. No, everybody tries to hack the Bitcoin network every single day. It is the fact that nobody, despite, okay, it being hacked every day, nobody is able to execute a 51% attack on the Bitcoin network for the last 13 years, okay? Every day it survives, it becomes more and more resilient. So you need to be aware, okay, that especially when you're doing DeFi and whenever you're trying on something new, it's because it is new, you don't know what you don't know, right? The Luna Terra incident, for example, right? It's very easy to actually say, oh, the problem was obvious. It's very easy to say it now, but we actually did not know until it became known, right? So you need to be aware of that. It's high risk. Okay, we only have 5 more minutes left. Okay, so 2 more questions. One, okay, to the person next to you. Yep. And then we'll take 1 more question from there. 2 more questions from there. Okay.
So, my question is pretty similar with his last question as well. It's about security and vulnerability, because as a builder myself, what are the key points, or what are the things that let's say top 3 things to look out for while we're choosing a chain to build in terms of vulnerability and security wise? Because we have to take care of our VCs and
Number 1, documentation. Documentation. Okay, if let's say, for example, it's a very new chain and there's no documentation, I think it's just a very bad chain now. Okay, it should have very, very good documentation. It should have very good technical support teams, all right, and it should have very good feedback loops. Okay, right? So the beautiful thing, okay, about Web3 is that the feedback loops are extremely, extremely short, okay, compared to, say, government, right? Government in general, not criticizing any governments in general, right? When something happens, okay, on the front line, the feedback takes very long time to reach the top, so that, that the iterative process happens, right? So I would look at, the documentation, the tools, the SDK, right? All those things, okay? And then I would go and talk okay, to the technical communities and find out, right, how responsive are they, how friendly are they to, developers, okay, feedback loops. Two more questions on the left, okay. One gentleman with the blue jacket, in front. Fourth row.
Yeah, okay, great. So time is running out, so I'll just be brief. You talked about the soul-born tokens, right? And I'm very intrigued in the soul-born tokens that it is the only step to achieve for us to lend money with reputation as collateral instead of our capital. And it can really create a decentralized society. So I'm very interested in what do you think about this matter, and even on maybe what are you trying to build maybe towards this direction, and also how can I help you if
Okay.
that's possible?
Thank you. So for me, thank you for the question. Soulbound tokens will be very interesting, okay, when decentralized social media becomes a thing. So something that's in my radar is Lens protocol, which is basically building a base, okay, for people to build decentralized social media on top of it. And I think that soulbound tokens, okay, will play a very huge role in that. As for what I do and what I'm building, I'm basically focusing on 𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗏 in the next 1 year. My role in the crypto space is to educate, and my role in the space is to create a platform for brilliant minds, okay, to come together, right, to make magic happen. So that is my role in the crypto space. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, we still have time for one more question. Yeah, sure.
That one lady over there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Jason. Just want to know, how do you see this Litecoin and XRP in these 2 years in the future?
I don't have any Litecoin or XRP.
Still have 1 more minute.
Who wants to have the final question?
Would you like to ask a question? Yeah, sure.
Okay, VK.
I want to promote one chain, that's called 𝗕𝗏𝘁 in Malaysia. This is our local chain, which I think we should support, because this 𝗕𝗏𝘁 going to be. We need a lot of people to build the application.
Okay.
I'm just a supporter. I'm not their tech people. Okay. So what is your comment on the 𝗕𝗏𝘁?
I don't know about what's that chain yet.
It's a kind of almost. They have their own consensus algorithm. They have. I think they can cross-chain the Ethereum. It's something like Polkadot.
Okay, so there are a lot of builders here, right? Okay, show them, okay, that there's a onboarding process, okay, that's friendly, that has documentation, that has tools ready for them, make their life easy, incentives,
yes,
right?
I can
okay,
connect them to the CEO of MS Global.
right? Okay, so what's that? Ladies and gentlemen, that is VK. Okay, what's that? If you want to build on a chain, right? Okay, you can seek him after this event. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Jason Chiu. Let's give another round of applause. However, for those of you who has unanswered questions, do post your questions on Twitter and tag us with a hashtag APU BCC Web3, and we will try our best to answer them.
So, Mr. Jason, you may now have a seat.
And now is the long-awaited time, the time that everybody has been anticipating. Who will be our lucky winners for today? Today, a total of 10 NFTs valued at 0.2 Ethereum will be won. So listen carefully to the procedure. Once the number is announced, the winner may proceed to the stage and receive the prize. After taking a photo, do go to Rignish. Where's Rignish? Yeah, the gentleman over there. And he will guide you towards the awarding procedure.
Okay, so for the first 2 NFTs, we would like to invite Mr. Suresh to come on stage and conduct the giveaway. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Suresh. Okay, so now we are going to draw the lucky winner for the first NFT. Can we get some drum roll, please? Okay, all right. Okay, our first lucky winner is number 116. Could you please stand up? Number 116, 116. Oh, redraw, okay? Okay, so number 77. Oh, okay, we have a winner. Right, congratulations. Please come on stage. So you just stand with him and just take a picture. You are next. Okay. So just wait to make sure that. One more. Okay, we'll have now the second NFT, right? Mr. Suresh, you can draw a number. Okay. Okay. Okay, so for the second NFT, the lucky winner is number 133. Why all the one above 100 not here? 133, 133, are you here? Calling once, calling twice. Okay. Oh, there, what? Okay, nice. Picture. Take already. Oh, okay, there. Lol. Okay, thank you. You may go to the guy over there. All right, thank you, Mr. Suresh. You may now have a seat.
Okay, following that, let's invite Mr. 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗏, the advisor of Access Malaysia, to conduct the next lucky draw. Okay, I have our winners in my hands. The number is number 45. Anyone? Yeah.
Oh, we have number 45. Hey, congrats.
Thank you. You may proceed. Okay, another draw.
Yeah,
All right, our fourth winner is number 89.
Next is who?
Seriously. Thank you. You may have your seat.
Next, we would like to have Mr. Namunil from Landor to come and do the giveaway. Our fifth winner is number 12. Do we have a number 12 here? Congrats. Right? Okay. So the next winner is number 23. Do we have number 23? Oh, okay. Is that Kelson from near? Right. Right. Thank you, Kelson. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nemanul. You may now have a seat.
All right, moving next, we'll invite Mr. Marsha to conduct the next lucky draw. Okay, the number is lucky number 82. Thank you. All right. Another lucky draw, yeah. Our eighth lucky number is number 13. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Marsha. You may now have a seat. Last but not least, let's have our speaker himself, Mr. Jason Chew, to come on stage and conduct the last two giveaways. Okay, lucky number 35. Where are you? 35? Oh, nice. We have 35. Okay. All right. The last giveaway. Okay, which number is it going to be? Okay, we have a nice number. Number 155. 155. Okay, we have a 155. Right, so okay, so Mr. Jason told us something about a special prize he has for the audience. So
Right, so I brought a Legend Nano S, a brand new one sealed in the thing, and it's a special Lagoon Blue limited edition, right? Okay, cryptocurrency wallet. So I'm going to draw a winner. Yeah. Okay, here you go.
Take the number.
All right, the lucky number is 69.
nice number. Right, we hope you enjoy the hardware wallet. Okay, thank you, Mr. Jason.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jason. Words cannot express our gratitude for you. We hope our journey as partners will grow in the future. Now, let's give another round of applause.
So before we move on to the closing session, we are excited to let you know that we will be having an event on APU called Venture Day at the 18th of June next week, basically. So there's going to be drinks, games, workshops, anything, you name it, it will be there. So it's going to be really fun, and we are calling for you to come and sign up for this exciting event. For further information, you can actually scan the QR code. It's available here. You can check out their Instagram page. So I'll just give a few seconds for you all to scan the QR code. Okay, I think that's scanning. Okay. Yeah, I just want to add on also that we will be having a another workshop on that day called the Blockchain Journey, featuring featuring Mr. 𝗕𝗏𝗏, who is the project leader of 𝗕𝗶𝘀𝗏𝗏. It's actually one of the largest crypto gaming guilds in Malaysia. He founded it with Mr. Aizat, who is currently the project leader of 𝗕𝗶𝘁𝗏𝗏. So this is the QR code to register for the event. The seats are limited. It's only for 100 people. So grab them while you can. Next, we would actually like to invite Mr. Navanil from 𝗕𝗏𝗏 to come and say a few words about 𝗕𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, hi. Thanks a lot. It's great to be here, and Jason, thanks a lot for a great presentation where he covered NFTs, DAOs, DeFi. So in case you had no clue, I think at the end of this session you would have learned a lot. It's quite interesting because the first project I did with Jason was in 2017, and I think it was one of his first blockchain projects. So it was good to see, Jason having sort of transitioned from, a newbie into blockchain to being such an expert. So it was great, ratifying. So the reason I thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of tumpang and talk a bit about 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is that, you've talked about DeFi, NFT, DAO. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏 as a project actually covers all of that. And I thought it'd be good to kind of, share a real project and talk about what we are doing. So, in Jason's presentation, he talked about multiple game changers. And I think there was a question also from the floor about how does the DeFi world really connect to the real world? And that's what 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is doing. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is basically lending to real estate developers, but the source of capital that comes in is from DeFi. So it's connecting the DeFi world to the real world or real estate world, and where we lend to property developers, and that then becomes an opportunity for the real estate industry to grow, which today is about $330 trillion out of the $500 trillion global economy. So it allows decentralized finance, which is about $1 trillion, to now participate in a bigger economy, which is the real estate and the traditional economy. So there are projects that are connecting the real world to the DeFi world, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 does that. It's an operating project. Do check out our website, www.𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.io. And you will see our project. We are already operating and lending in India. We are lending in UAE. Australia is the next market for us. And in this journey, we are moving towards a DAO. We have a token ecosystem which includes NFTs as a collateral, and we have a token base of about 21 million tokens like Bitcoin. So it kind of covers all the Web3 components, and we are growing. We are looking at partners. We are looking at new people to join us. So that was one of my other interests in coming to APU and talking to you all. Is I know there are a lot of bright young students who are interested in blockchain. So we'd be quite happy to take on people who want to be interns or join us as new joiners. So feel free to reach out to me, whether you're a partner, whether you want to join us. That's my first name, Navonil. It means blueness of the sky. So I do a lot of blue sky thinking, Navonil, at Landorc, LANDORC.io. So drop me a mail, happy to chat, whether you're looking to participate as an investor, as some of y'all want to do, or whether you would want to join the project as an intern or would want to join our team. Would love to have you all. Thanks a lot for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Navonil. Before the event ends, we would like to acknowledge some of our supporters. This event would not have been possible without them. So firstly, APU Asia Pacific University, who had provided us funds for the events. And next, Access Blockchain Association Malaysia and 𝗕𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗴𝗏, who has sponsored us these beautiful t-shirts our committees are wearing. And also Landorc, who sponsored us the beautiful lanyards our committees are wearing right now. And lastly, DS Legends, who sponsored us the 10 NFTs for the lucky draw.
And not forgetting our speaker, Mr. Jason, because he has been really active with our blockchain club. He has been sharing a lot of stuff, and we figured, hey, I think this should also go out to more people. And that's why we decided to do this event. So, Mr. Jason, thank you very much for agreeing to be our speaker.
And also, we would also like to recognize the people behind the scene who are the committee members and our lovely volunteers in this event. They had countless meetings to ensure that the event ran perfectly, as when they are having their assignments, internships, and also final year project submissions coming. So it was a very not easy task. So let's give a big round of applause to them.
And of course, audiences, how can we forget you? If it wasn't for you coming here and supporting us, we would have been talking to empty walls. So thank you very much for coming, and please give a round of applause to yourselves. All right, so we have displayed a few QR codes here, and in order to make our future events better, this is the feedback form. So please fill it up with your honest feedbacks on how we can do better and some areas of improvement. At the same time, do give us a follow on our social media platforms by scanning the QR code for the link tree, where it will display the links for every one of our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, maybe soon to be on YouTube. And yeah, I think this is actually for the registration form. You can just fill it up if you want to be a member of our club. And what else? What's this? Huh? You say.
Okay, now let's take a picture that we can treasure. So if anyone is convenient, can come to the middle.
Yeah, I think everyone can move in closer a bit. Yeah, let's all take a picture.